Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So the next one is the list. List simply means that the list of different things. For example, list of chart of accounts, list of items, list of fixed assets, list of unit of measurements. All those lists which already we have created, of course, those lists basically appear here. So in this case, it is not a complicated things. So those lists which we have created are already available here. For example, chart of account. So it shows how many accounts we have and how can you create the new accounts. Item list, already we have discussed, shows the list of items as well as how we can create the new items. Fixed asset items, for example, how many items are available, and if you want, you can create the new fixed asset. Just the list. Unit of measurement, list of unit of measurement, how many unit of measurement do we have? If you want to create a few more, then you can right click and say new. For example, you can simply create this one. Then right click, say new, then you can create any unit of measurement for any item as you wish. So just cancel this one once again. Okay, then once again, okay, home page should be there, otherwise it looks different. Then, for example, price level list. How many price level you have created for the customers? It is available. 10% higher, 10% lower. If you want, for example, new, then you can do it. For example, fixed as well as per item. Increase, decrease, everything is available. As well as the list of, for example, billing rate levels we have created for different vendors. Sales tax codes, how many codes are there? You can check it out. These are the codes that we have, right? List of, for example, class list. How many class we have created? Class A, class B, class 3. I have created 3 classes. It is available there, right? Other names. How many other names are created? Cobblebong, Honor, and PT Cash. I have created 3 only. Then customers and vendor profile list. Sales representative list, customer type list, vendor type list, job type list, terms, for example, the terms that we have created, for example, which type of terms, for example, there were 2 types of terms, right? For example, standard and date driven, you can check it out. In exam, when I ask, for example, when I ask you, please make different terms, then I check it from this area that whether you have prepared the terms or not. Customer message list and payment method list and vehicle and several other things. For example, vehicles. How many vehicles we have? We have only 1 vehicle, right? How we have created this one, you can create from this area as well, but we have created under the company. Enter vehicle mileage. So we have created from there, right? So we may say new. Create a new, let us say, for example, Corolla, right? Let us say this is the correct spelling. Then save this one. Okay, just cancel this one. If you go back for the list of vehicles, I think there is 2. Now Corolla is also added in this list, right? So this was the purpose of the list. For example, then templates. Click on this one. Templates for what? Template, for example, for invoice, different invoice. Template, for example, for credit memo. Who need it? For that one, there is estimate. Template for invoice, for estimates, there is a template for sales order. For everything, there is a template. If you want to make your own, so you can do your own. Not a big issue, right? So click on one of this. For example, let us say we want to make an invoice. We want to change this invoice. If you remember, already we have discussed this one under the customer. Just bring a logo. For example, which column should be there, which column should not be there, additional customization, and layout designer, everything is discussed in the case of customers. So if you want to edit for yourself, you can edit it, not a big issue. But this is the option that you can do it. Regarding the list. Memorize transaction list. In exam, when I ask you, for example, make a memorized list of a particular things, for example, memorize the invoice, memorize the bill, and so on. So definitely the list of those memorized basically appear here. For example, now we have only one, that is ABC bill. Let me create an invoice. Click on the customer, create an invoice. For example, let us create an invoice for Atana, for example. Item should be, for example, 10. And this is for book. And this is the amount. So please memorize the transactions. When you memorize the transactions, so of course provide this other area. It should be this one. On monthly basis. Next date is, for example, this time. Remaining number 0. So please do this one. Save it. So now this is memorized. Now if you go for the list, so one more item is available there. One, memorize for the invoice. So in this case, you can memorize the bill, you can memorize, we can say the invoice, you can memorize the check, anything that can be memorized. So list of memorized basically appear in the list. That's it. Add or edit multiple list entries. Click on this one. What you can see. At the same time, you can create several customers. At the same time, you can create several vendors. At the same time, you can enter several inventory parts, several non-inventory parts, inventory assembly, and so on. Right? Several customers and so on can be done. Even this one discussed under the customers as well. If you want to create customer, so if you want to create the new customer, so you can add multiple customer or single customers. That's also available from here. The same cases with the vendor. If you want to create vendor, you can create one vendor or multi-vendor. And the same thing is basically here. But this is not only for the vendor and this, also it is for the items. For which items? For the inventory part, for the service, for the non-inventory part, and so on. For example, we want to create several inventory. These are the inventories which are available, but if you want, you can create, for example, 10 more inventories here itself. Not a big issue, you can do it simply. So this was regarding the list.